Morning guys, thought I'd just do a quick video because there's no golf today because it's pouring, and there's obviously no bike riding today for the same reason. So I thought I'd just do a quick video on some of the comments, some of the negative comments I get on Charlie, my classic 350. Not just from YouTube but from people I've met, other bikers. Yeah, I thought there's three main ones actually, and this isn't a rant. It doesn't bother me. I love Charlie. I love the classic 350, and nothing that anyone can say will make me change my mind on this bike. So the main comment I get from a lot of people is the fact that it's underpowered. This bike's got 20 brake horsepower. As I said in the previous videos, you can go on the motorway. I was on the motorway 2 days ago and happily cruised at 65, and there's no issues whatsoever. But some of the comments I get, one guy said the other day that it was dangerously slow, which I don't really understand. It's certainly not dangerously slow. It's slower than a more powerful bike, obviously, but it's certainly not dangerously slow. I've never had an issue when I've been out on the bike, and I've done 1,500 miles on this bike, where I thought, oh, I'm in trouble here because I've got no power. That's never happened. And I live in London, or just on the outskirts of London. I commute on this bike to work into London. Never at any point have I thought, oh, I'm in trouble. So that clearly is an incorrect comment. They haven't. It's not dangerously slow. What I do suggest, if anyone is interested in or likes the look of a Royal Enfield Classic 350, is to try one out. And if you can try one out for a couple of hours, not just for half an hour, and then you will really appreciate what this bike is all about, and the fact that it's not about the power, it's about the way it makes you feel, the soul this bike has, the noise it makes. It's much more than the fact that it's only got 20 brake horsepower. So yeah, that's my first point. The first comments that I get are usually about the lack of power. The next comment I get, and these are usually by people when the bike's parked up. I've had 3 or 4 actually, which is quite surprising. And it starts with, well, you know, obviously this isn't an English bike or British bike. It's made in India. It's an Indian bike, and they say that as if this is a bad thing. And I always reply by saying, well, it's the best Indian company that I know of, because to me, I don't give a shit where this bike is made. It's how it makes me feel, the fact that it starts every time, the fact that it's comfortable, the fact that it makes me and everyone who sees it smile. It's definitely got soul. So wherever it's made, and I know the history of Royal Enfield, and yeah, I love the way that it's progressed, and to me it makes absolutely no difference that it is now an Indian company and made in India, which actually brings me on to the side point. This backrest I ordered, and that came from India. Now when you order an accessory, usually it comes all bubble wrapped and all sort of padding in the box, and it's all done properly. This isn't a Royal Enfield genuine part. This is an aftermarket part, but it came from India. The box was well packaged. I opened it up, and it was wrapped in loads and loads of sheets of the New Delhi Times, and I absolutely love that. It just gives the bike a little bit more authenticity. I love that. It really made me smile. So that's how much I like the fact that the bikes are made in India. Doesn't affect me at all. The last point, and the last comment, or the last negative comment that I want to mention, is quite a few people have said, oh well, yeah, they are cheap, but the quality is a lot less than something like a Triumph or a Honda or any of the Jap bikes. And do you know what, I haven't had an old, it might be the case with the old Royal Enfields 20 years ago. I've never had one of those, so I can't comment on that. But I've had 4. I've had an Interceptor, 2 Classic 350s, and the Super Meteor. Now, the Interceptor to me was lovely, a great looking bike, stunning looking, very classic looking. But there were probably bits and pieces that you thought, yeah, that's probably they've cut corners there, maybe. But I still loved it. I thought it was a great looking bike. Then the classic 350, I thought was a step up. Well, I'm 100% certain it's a step up. The quality and the fit and finish on these bikes, I think, are better than the Interceptor. But probably not up there with your other mainstream manufacturers. However, I honestly think that the Super Meteor 650 is another step up, without a doubt. Now it's got stuff like upside down forks and LED lights and various bits and pieces. I think, in my opinion, it is up there now. I can't see any difference in the fit and finish to this bike than I did to my Triumph Speedmaster that I had a couple of years ago. I think this is just as good, and I know I'm going to get a lot of comments on, no, it's totally inferior, but in my opinion, and I've had both bikes, I think Royal Enfield have stepped up so much that they are up there now, and I think this bike is stunning. The fit and finish is incredible. It really is, and it is definitely a long way away, in my opinion, again, from the Interceptor. I do think that this has stepped up substantially, except for maybe the speedometer, but I'm getting used to that as well, actually. Yeah, absolutely love this bike. And another side note, I know someone commented this morning, these bikes I know are too small for me. 80% of motorbikes, unfortunately, are too small for me, but I don't care what I look like. I know I look like a gorilla on a child's bike, but this is comfortable. This is comfortable. And that, to me, is all that matters. And then my other half finds it really comfortable. She finds the Super Meteor the most comfortablest bike she's been on the back of, and she's been on the back of most of mine, so that's another plus. Alright guys, fingers crossed it stops raining. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ride safe.